Holy cannoli, this thing is gorgeous. Hello friends, and welcome back. In a previous video, I showed you that I got the brand new flexible white ink for my Eufy Make UV printer. In that video, I essentially did a side-by-side comparison of what it's like to print on the original white ink that comes with your Eufy Make UV printer, and then also with this. Now at the end of the video, I did sneak peek and showed you that we can do hot foiling now with the flexible white ink. There was a lot of questions in that video about how in the world did I set this up. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how we do it within the Eufy Make software. It's not as easy as dragging and dropping and just pressing print. You have to do a little bit more with doing the hot foiling. Not hard, you just have to do a couple extra steps. Now, I didn't just stop there. I actually have some side-by-side comparisons for you about using just your black toner laser printer and doing hot foiling that way. Because generally when we do hot foiling as a crafter, if you've never done it before, you would need a black toner laser printer, you would print it out, and then you would do your hot foiling sheet over the top inside your laminator, and you would get these like really cool holographic or metallic prints. Now, what Eufy Make has done and the abilities of it is instead of needing a laser printer is that you would just use your flexible white ink to create essentially the same thing. I'm going to show you the differences between the two, okay? Because there is some very big difference of that. But first, what we have to do is I have to show you how to set it up in the software. But before all that, what I want to do is I want to take you over to the Eufy Make UV printer. I'm going to talk a little bit about ink consumption and an issue that I had when I first tried doing the hot foiling with the flexible white ink, and then obviously set up our substrate so then we can actually print on something. I'm going to use the same thing that I used the last time, which is black cardstock, just because it highlights the gold foil so much more. And then you can also see the depth of which the foiling takes place when we do it in the Eufy Make UV printer. So I went ahead and just laid my black cardstock into the mini flatbed, and also the white flexible ink is already installed into the top of my UV printer. When I installed it with you back at that other video, I never took it out, and that's because I don't want to waste any ink here, because you do tend to waste ink when you switch from one white to the flexible white, okay? Now, I would like to note that I did have an issue, and I'm gonna tell you how to fix it, okay? When I went from the original white ink to the flexible ink, and I showed you in the video how we do it. We take out the ink, and then we do an inkjet, and what it's supposed to do during that time is it's supposed to clear the entire lines. Inside your UV printer, there are these ink lines. They house all of the ink that comes with this in all of these cartridges, right? There's like all of these lines. When you do an inkjet, what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to purge that entire line and to fill up with the new stuff, the new flexible ink. Well, when I went to originally, when I first did it, and then I was like, guns a-blazing, I am going to do a hot foil because I was really interested in that. The first few times, like 3 or 4 times, I didn't get anything. Like I would do the actual print and I'd put it through my laminator and nothing. Like the foil would not stick to my flexible white ink. And that is because when I cleaned this out, what happened is my ink lines didn't get fully purged. So what I was printing, what I thought was flexible ink, was still leftover hard original ink that was left over in my tubes. So essentially what I did was to clear the line is I just put a white rectangle on some paper and I just printed it a few times and then tested it again, and then it worked, okay? So if you have this printer and you are also struggling, just know that it happens, and all you have to do is just put in a square and purge the line manually yourself, okay? Anyway, so the black cardstock's installed, my white flexible ink is in here. Now let's go to the computer and I'm gonna show you how to set it up. It's actually really easy.
Okay, so over at the Eufy Make software, what you want to do is just open up a new tab over in the Eufy Make software. Okay, the next thing we want to do is find something that you want to print. So I've actually already went ahead and found an image off of Creative Fabrica that I wanted, and all I'm going to do is drag and drop it inside the Eufy Make Studio software. Now, the one thing that you have to remember when it comes to the hot foiling is that you're only going to be able to use the hot foil, or things that are only going to be foiled is going to be white, okay? So like this particular print, although right now it's black, it's all one color, and we are going to print it all one color, and that color is going to be white, okay? Now you are going to see that there is no actual option to do hot foiling. That's because you kind of have to find it. Right now, what you have to do is go into flat raised. You're going to come down here to ink mode, And then you're gonna say white foil stamping. In the hot foiling, you have to have 0.3 millimeters. It won't work if it's less than that, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, they do have gold and silver option, so you can just choose whichever one you want. I don't know what the difference is between the two settings, but I do know that you're supposed to choose the color that you want. And then what you want to do is just take this over and then drag it like this, okay? Now, what you want to do is press Snapshot. We're gonna create a snapshot of what we have going on in our Eufy Make UV printer. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna resize this to fit inside my black piece of cardstock. Now I am going to copy and paste this item, and I'm just going to show you that if we were to drag this down, see how it won't go less than 0.3 millimeters? Okay, so if you were to just say, you know what, I don't want to do any type of texture and you just want to keep it flat, you would just come over here to flat, and you would want to change this over to white only. Now in the Eufy Make software, you do have available layers that you can do with a max layer of 10. So let's just see, let's just test the theory. Let's do this one, the left one, at 10 layers of only white. And then this one, we'll keep it at the 0.3 millimeter. Now what we want to do is select our material. So we're gonna come down here to unknown, and I'm gonna come over here to cardboard, and then we'll just press print. Okay, so this print right here is going to take 0.68 milliliters of white ink. I do see that we're using 0.10 milliliters of gloss, which is interesting because I didn't choose gloss for anything. So this is going to be an interesting turnout. So let's press the happy button on the top of our Eufy Make UV printer and just wait for this to get done printing. All right, so 31 minutes later, it did take 31 minutes to get this print. And this print is not very big. I think it's a total of like 1 inch or 2. How many is it? It is 1, 2, 3. It's 3.5 inches tall. So not very big, took a total of 31 minutes. And remember when I said I printed 10 layers of white? This doesn't look very white at all. But this right here is that 0.3 something or another. 0.3 millimeter height or whatever. It looks stark white. It looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to put both of these in my laminator just to see how the end results look like between the two. I would like to note that Eufy Make came out with their laminator. In that laminator right now has that plastic sheeting that you would need to use in order to make a sticker, right? Unfortunately, for this hot foiling, you can't use that laminator to do hot foiling.
Did you hear all that misinformation that I was just spewing about how the Eufy Make laminator won't work with the Eufy Make foil that they sent me? Now, in my defense, when I recorded that video, I truly did not think that they actually worked together. And the reason for that is when I first got the flexible white ink, I tried using the hot foiling with the laminator from Eufy Make, and I could not get it to work. I spent hours trying to figure it out. So I just assumed that you would just need your own laminator, which is fine because I had one here on hand. I also have heat presses, like it's not that big of a deal. But as I was sitting there editing the recording, I was like, this just does not make any sense. So I finally reached out into the Discord group and said, hey, look, I am dumb. Is this really what it is? And no, I was wrong. And I would consider myself to be really tech savvy, but didn't think a laminator would take me out, but it did. So just know that the laminator and the hot foiling tool that you can get from Eufy Make do work together. So that is complete misinformation. However, what I'm not going to do is change the rest of this recordings. 2 reasons. 1, it actually is beneficial to the people that didn't upgrade and get the Eufy Make laminator, because I'm going to show you that even if you have a crusty dusty laminator like me, you're gonna still get some really cool things at the end of your projects. The second reason is because my reactions to the projects I'm about ready to show you, I could not recreate in an acting form because I'm no actor. So I just wanted to clarify and, make sure that there was no misinformation that you heard from me, because I definitely do not want to be that content creator that puts out information that is not correct. So just wanted to put the little intermission here, but let's get back to the rest of the video.
You're gonna need your own separate laminator like this, or even a heat press. If you have a heat press, a small one, a large one, or whatever, you need a heat press. You have like different temperatures that you need to set, and then you can just press it yourself. I actually have a laminator. It is not a good one. I need a better laminator if I want to continue doing these hot foilings, but it gets the job done, and you will understand and know what the difference is between a UV printed hot foiling versus a laser print, okay? But just know that my laminator is not the best, okay? All right, so first what I want to do is before I show you side-by-side comparisons, is I want to finish doing this, okay? I am not going to do them together, and the reason for that is there's a significant height difference between this and this. Again, this was right. What did we do? We did like a 0.3 millimeters high, and then this one, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but this one right here is definitely raised, and this right here is not. Also, I wish that you could feel this, but this one right here, do you see how it's like kind of tacky on my hand? I wonder if that's the reason why the hot foiling works so well with the, why, you know, it's like 0.33 is that it doesn't cure all the way. And this one right here, it feels tacky, but not as tacky as this right here. So we are just going to cut these into two separate pieces. We're going to do them at two separate times. Okay, for the amount of years that I have been a crafter, I have been a crafter since 2011, like full-time crafting since 2011. And I've tried hot foiling before. And the only sheets that I can find are like small little sheets, or now you're able to find like 8.5 by 11 letter size sheets from different suppliers. I have never in my life found a roll of hot foiling. I have 3 of these. I have a silver, this gold, and then like an older yellowish gold color. EufyMake now sells them in like the biggest rolls ever, which I absolutely love, because those little sheets that you would get, they are kind of pricey and you have to buy a lot of them, right? So this just is one huge roll. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down to size, because I don't need the entire roll. Okay, and then just cut it a little bit more like this. Okay, all we have to do is essentially create a sandwich. If you've never hot foiled before, this is just how you do it. Put it like this. Like, oh, and it's kind of sticky. It's like, actually, do you see that? I don't even have to put any heat on there, and it's already like picking up the foil. But we're gonna put it through anyways. Do it like this. All right, now we're gonna stick it inside my laminator. You're not gonna be able to see it go through there. My laminator has seen better days. I have been abusing the crud out of it. I actually have a piece of the foil wrapped up inside my laminator because I'm sure I'm not even using it correctly. Someone's probably gonna call me out. They're like, you're probably gonna need a jacket for it. I know. I don't know where it's at, so I'm not gonna, I don't know. I just continue to use it. Okay, so now this is all done. So all you gotta do is just pull it off. Holy cannoli, this thing is gorgeous. I have not even finished pulling it off yet, and my gosh, do you see that? Whoa! I could use a sentence and answer on this. My goodness. Okay, so this is the one that I had shown you in that previous video. There is a huge frickin' difference between the two. I don't know what I did differently from this to this, but my God. Oh my word. Wow. All right, let's just see. This was the 10 layers of just white. I don't think it's gonna work, but I mean, let's just try. Let's just try to do it. I'm absolutely in awe over this, in awe. I complained earlier about it being 31 minutes long, but like at this point, that was actually freaking gorgeous. I would wait 2 hours to print just to get something like that. My gosh. It looks so good. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. Okay. So this is going to be that 10 layers of white. Will we get the same results? I mean, no, we didn't. Let's try it again. Let's just try and push this through again with one more. I'm gonna do it over on the side. We'll do it twice just to see. This right here, wow, 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 wow. All right. I think with every pass that I go through, it gets better. No? Maybe? What do you think? I think it's not even worth my time to continue to go. Maybe if you did more layers or something like that, maybe you could get more. But like between this and this right here, freaking showstopper. Like, yeah. Okay, so I know that I'm probably going to get asked this, like, could you hot foil on a leather patch? So I actually have one. Do I? I said that and then I don't even know.
I do. I have like a faux leather patch right here. It's a leatherette patch with 3M on it. I'm going to throw this inside my Eufy Make UV printer. I'm just going to do the same thing that the same clip art that I used for that. This one right here, I'm going to keep it at the 0.3 millimeters and I'm going to do gold again. We're going to print it on some leather and see how this works. Now, the leather patch, I don't think it's going to be able to fit inside my laminator, so I am going to have to get my mini heat press out for that. So I'm just going to do my little handheld heat press. We'll see what that looks like. Instead of doing cardboard, I am going to do artificial leather because this is leather. So I'm just going to press print. We'll see how long this takes with just one. Okay, going back to this right here, this is what is absolutely amazing. Now, it's not a true side-by-side comparison because this is huge. But these two prints were printed on my black toner laser printer. Remember when I told you that the two prints that we had took a total of 31 minutes to print? These took seconds. Like, drag and drop it into my software, just press print, and then it prints like that. So if you're looking for a time-saving thing, okay, then obviously you're going to want to stick with the laser printer because this right here took seconds and two of these prints took 31 minutes, right? But let me show you. This right here was in the white. I printed white cardstock. It prints white and then, or I'm sorry, it does not print white. I printed this on white cardstock and a layer of black. So what you see on the computer screen is exactly what it looks like when it prints. Now with laser toner cartridges, the toner, only the black will pick up the metallic, okay? So this right here was black. You can kind of see the black through some things. This is why I need a better laminator because it wasn't doing really well by giving me good, even laminations. Okay, this is probably why this one turned out so well is because it's raised. And so this right here touches my heating element a lot better than when it's flat. But this was printed on white cardstock with black. And then I put the same foil. This is the exact same foil together. And this is not a bad look. I would say this is great. But like this right here, this looks like real gold on cardstock. It's freaking gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. And then bringing it side by side to this black, this is black cardstock from my cardstock warehouse that I printed. And so it was black cardstock, it printed black, and then I put this on here. Same type of prep as what we did for this. But like this right here, sure, I do need a better laminator to get more even presses or more even thing on here. But I think even if I had a better laminator, I still think this right here is way better than this right here. Like way better. They're night and day difference. Not too many times do I have such a huge night and day difference. But like, which one do you prefer the most? Now, obviously this right here, it says vintage aged to perfection. So if you were to actually, like want to sell this or whatever, and it was like this, the look that I have going on here, it looks vintage, which kind of fits the theme. But if you were trying to do something regal, like something from, like a 1920s party and you're trying to make decorations for it, or, anything that needs refinement, I think you would want to go with this for sure. Because this looks refined and this looks a little rustic-y and vintagey. All right, let's wait for the printer to get done printing my leatherette patch. And then we'll see how that ends up turning out. I'm already blown away. Blown away. Okay, so that only took 11 minutes. That's a significant difference. 31 to 11. I don't know why it would be that much of a time difference, but I'll take it. Okay, so I actually am going to try and put it in my laminator because I have this extra one. I put it in there and the laminator seems to want to take it. I will probably end up breaking my laminator, but it's fine because I need another one. I did already tell you that, right? Okay, so I'm gonna cut this down to size and then just to show you what the final print looks like. You see that? And it's still really tacky, just like the printed one. And look at how small these letters are. I mean, they're teeny tiny. I'd show you with my calipers. My calipers are broken right now, but those are like premium is so small. This patch is about 1, 2, 3. It's 3 by 3. The image itself is about it's about 2 inches tall by 1.5 inches wide. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Okay, we're gonna put this to this. Again, I'm not entirely sure if I'm about ready to break my laminator, but we're gonna try. Ooh, it's coming out. It's coming out the other end. That was a little dangerous, but that's all right. Okie dokie, let's see what this looks like. 1, 2, 3. I don't think it picked up at all. Oh, it did pick up. It picked up some, but not all. Okay, I'm gonna put it back through the laminator. This time I'm gonna go this way. You probably should have done this on a heat press. I'm just saying, but it's coming back out. So we're moving and grooving, folks. Okay, I'm just gonna get my mini heat press out because do you see how it's not picking up? It's not picking up anything. So I'm gonna turn this off, unplug it because I need my mini heat press. Okay, we're gonna heat that up. I got my foam mat put down just to protect my workspace. And you can tell it wanted to pick up on some things, but not everything. That could be due to my laminator because I need a new laminator. But I am just gonna put this on the highest setting possible. I don't know what heat setting you're supposed to use with this. Okay, so this is what the final hat patch looks like. Not terrible. I think I probably would not put it in my laminator because you see how we have some weirdness going on here, but the end results of this doesn't look terrible. What I did notice is that once you heat up the ink, it takes the ink way better, like when it's warmed, not cold. So maybe what I would do in the future is just heat it up with a heat press and then manually like hand stamp it with my hand because it seemed to work out well. Is this terrible? Absolutely not. Did I just hot foil on leather? I sure did. There is a little bit of a raise to it because it is 0.3 milliliters high. From the side, I'm gonna bend this because this is flexible ink, so you should be able to bend this around and it not crack. So from the side, you're gonna see that there is this like grayish white color that's on the side. That's due to all the layers that needed to be built up with the flexible white ink. So if that was going to be an issue for you, then obviously you're not going to want to do this step, you know, or to do this type of project. You would want to stay to something like this, but like you would not be able to print my laser toner. You would not be able to print directly onto a leather patch or like a pleather patch. So that's like the benefit of doing it this way versus this way, because you wouldn't be able to get that craft. But hopefully I was able to answer a lot of questions for you about the hot foiling. I'm actually pretty jazzed that it worked with the leather. I had no idea if it was going to work or not. It's actually really cool that it does. So that's really cool. If you have any other project ideas for me to do or more questions about the hot foiling, let me know in the comments of this video. Also, I sure hope that within the next week or two, I get the roller attachment tool because I'm honestly waiting for that. I want to create my own wallpaper. I just moved a few months ago. There's been no paint on the walls. I hardly have any wall decorations within my house, but I desperately want to make my own wallpaper and decorate my little bathroom that's over here off the side of this room, because I think that being able to create my own wallpaper is going to be so much fun. All right, y'all, I sure hope that I inspired you to create, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, and you know what? Since I already did the whole misinformation intermission earlier, I'm going to show you that I actually got a hat patch. This is the one that I showed you in the video that we made together. And then this is the one that I did off camera. I am a terrible content creator because I did not record me actually doing this one. But I learned some things with this one, and I wanted to test my theories out and make sure that it worked. Now, you really don't need a whole nother video for it. So I'm just gonna tell you what I did. Same steps as this one right here. I printed it just like what we did in the video together. The difference here is what I did was I took my heat press, I put it on the lowest heat setting, had my patch, pretend that this is just white. I put in a piece of like a silicone just to protect my patch, my ink, and I heated it up nice and good. Just, you know, just kind of light press, making sure that it was just warm, okay? Then what I did was I took a bit of this hot foiling stuff and I just did this and just kind of hand stamped it on there. When the ink was warm, it really, really took that hand foil, that hot foil, just with my hand really well. And then I ended up getting something like this. So I definitely was overthinking it the first time. This right here ended up looking absolutely amazing. And also, I kind of freaked my husband out by doing this, but I was like, it's flexible white ink, so you should be able to do it. But just to show you, this is that flexible ink, and you are going to be able to roll this, and it really highlights in that larger numbers that there is no cracking in that. This thing is amazing. All right, y'all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.